Let me share the live with everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Sunday evening lesson and charting session. Owner and investor in Culture Shock Investments. Michael Clark here with you. We are going to be charting some price levels today. But I want to start off, give you guys a few little lessons, free lessons, some tips and tricks, especially if you're a beginner in investing, on how to understand what a ticker symbol is. Going over some basics with you today. How to read a ticker symbol, know the bid and ask price, what those things mean, and pretty much how when you open up an app like TradingView, Webull, Robinhood, you have to understand how to read the chart breakdown or understand what the details and acronyms mean underneath a stock symbol. Okay, also look like Chinese to you. But let me just share this live, and we will get started right now. Merc, what's going on? Karcher, what's going on? Welcome, welcome. Just gonna share the live real quick, and we'll get this started. Sunday. What's this charting? What are we talking about? Let me just get this message out. Share the live space. How's everybody feeling? If you're joining, thank you for coming in. Give me a ticker symbol you want to chart or price level you're looking for, and we'll make that happen.
What up? What up? I'm online.
What's good, my boy?
Chilling.
Only the real charters in here Sunday nights, man. Getting ready for the week, man.
Getting ready for another full week.
A full week of earnings, potential deals, a lot going on.
We outside.
Well, I just had to share this last space real quick. But yeah, man, we got Apple earnings this week, Amazon, Microsoft, Meta, Waste Management, Visa.
No, this the week.
This is
the week.
A lot's going to be decided this week. If we taking back off, this is the week that's going to really catapult it.
Right.
If the market's
going. But remember, I said be careful because of that downward trend zone. I mean, Friday it seemed like it closed above it.
Okay.
But until if it can't get all the way to fucking maybe spy I'm speaking on.
Okay.
I would say we're still going to be in a downward trend zone probably until we can get maybe above 567.
Okay.
You know?
On SPY, you looking at 567 on SPY?
Right. I mean, to say the market's back bullish.
Right. I got a crucial level on SPY right around 556.70. And then hold on, let me close this out real quick. I don't want this chart. I want the other type of chart. Give me the raw charting. All right, let's pull up SPY real quick. Let's look at it on the monthly because I'm really looking at monthly trends right now.
Okay.
So on a monthly trend, we need 563.50 on SPY. Pretty much 564. We get back above 564 on SPY. It looks like it could be a pretty much. Actually, no. 564 will be a good entry. 574 is the clearance. 574. Once we get above 574, we clear for takeoff.
Right.
Heavy takeoff. Easy push. So I'm gonna put my first alert for SPY at 564.09. Yeah, 564.09. Believe it or not, it's going to hit quick resistance. But if it could get over 567.77, I like the potential for a nice push there. And then we could come in and we could recalibrate if we get up to, if we gap up to that 574 level. So those are going to be my levels for SPY calls this week.
Okay.
Patient, that's a patient play. So you're gonna have to wait for the market to push this week if you're gonna catch this SPY call. But when it comes to the ETFs, because of how shaky the market has been, I don't want to jump in. And when I jump into some of these plays with the ETFs, I'm looking at starting to do far out contracts, even with SPY and Qs, because those contracts are lucrative, even though they cost a lot. They cost a lot, but they pay well.
Right.
So if you get a SPY after 564 breaks, if we get like a 2-month out contract on SPY, let me look at the contracts on SPY. Let me see how much they cost. I know them shits are expensive. Let me look at SPY. Option chain. We're gonna say, what's today? 27. We're gonna say for June 30th. So for June 30th, we're seeing June 30th, you could get 555 calls for 1,700 right now. For one contract, 1,700.
On what?
On SPY.
Okay.
555 calls for 1,700. But
What month you said?
June 30th.
Okay.
And the delta on that is 50, pretty much $50 per every dollar SPY moves. That contract goes up $50 for every dollar SPY moves to 555s,
Oof.
that's pretty nice. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But it also goes down by that much too if it goes down. So, but it's a $1,700 contract, and that's what I'm saying. Like these are the contracts that I'm looking to play out on that monthly scale because off the monthly levels, I mean, because those premiums, if we get from, let's say we catch it, let's say even if we catch it now, that's how much the price is. If we wait until the price goes up to 564, the 555 calls will be in the money already. Those calls are going to be around 2,300, 2,500 if we wait till it gets to 564 before we grab them.
Right.
So hold on, let me see if I can see more contracts. Let me see all the strikes. So right now, I will be looking to get the 564. I'll be looking to hold it to about 572. Those 572 calls are $907 right now, with a $35 delta on it and a theta of 0.1 of $13, which is not bad.
Right.
That's a low theta, but I know if that price pushes up right now based on these calculations, if we get to 564 from where we at right now, 550. So 564 is what, $14. And this is just a guesstimate because the delta changes as each dollar goes up. But let's say 14 times 35. So that contract I'm looking at for 900 is going to cost. It's going to cost around 1,400, 1,300 if I wait till it gets to 564. I don't mind paying 1,300 for that 564 confirmation.
Right.
I'll buy a 572 SPY call for 1,300. once the confirmation is given that we cross above this 564 monthly level, the monthly level from August 2024, that's the top wick from August, the 564.
Mm-hmm.
Who else jumped in the chat? Goddess, what's good, girl? How you been? You coming back in the lives? Let me find out you coming back in the markets.
A little bit, yeah, step by step. What's up, G?
Yeah, what's going on, y'all?
That's what's up. That's what's up.
I need to make sure I stay hip in the market, so I need to just get back on live and just study.
That's it.
That's
Even if
great.
you're not
Right
actively
on.
trading, you just stay tapped in.
Right. You know, that's what helped me out about a year and a half ago when I had blown my account. I still stayed here in here with the groups, keeping up with the market,
Mm-hmm.
So when I got back in, I wasn't lost again. I was like, boom, got right back on.
You knew exactly where to start jumping in at.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Now that I had the break, I'm like, all right, let me stay in tune.
Right.
That's what I like to hear. I love to hear it. I love to hear it. We were just doing some charting on SPY right now. I was looking at some SPY call entry levels. I'm about to do a SPY put entry level right now. So based SPY at 550 right now. We'll say a put entry. Honestly, we're sitting right near a put entry trigger. Like I'm gonna say put entry triggers right where I got this call level at. I had a call level down here. This is gonna become the new put entry level. Let's escape that. We're gonna make 548.80 the new put entry for SPY. And that is sitting right near the top wick of the June 2024 monthly candlestick and near the bottom wick of March 2025 candlestick. It's right around that range. So if you want to be real safe, we could even adjust it down and we could say wait for put confirmation at 547. I like that even better. 547 is going to be put entry for SPY. And we're going to look for a target. If we get that put entry, if that clears, we'll look for a target at 539.
Okay, well, what you say? You said 547 was the put entry?
Yeah, for SPY on the monthly.
Oh, okay.
And so we're not too far away from put entry. We could easily slip right back below that level, bro.
What?
One bad earnings report or bad forward guidance from one of these big companies early in the week, like a Microsoft on Wednesday or something, and the market could slip right back towards that downtrend I had on it on the weekly. It's above it right now, but it could get back into that. But yeah, 547 the put entry I see. The first take profit I have on that would be 539.61. And then we could look at honestly, we could look at I have a level down here already that this could be the next take profit level on the put. And these levels look like far gaps, but when the market starts tanking below these levels, it has a very good chance of filling to these wicks. Like when we tanked down before, nobody saw that. Like really, if that 480, that was a crazy wick, but it reached the support level. It came all the way down to support level from February 2024 at the bottom of that monthly candlestick. So don't ever disrespect the wicks. Pay attention to them and pay attention to the distance between them, but don't get so caught up in like, oh my God, that's such a big price movement because the levels are there for a reason. So honestly, the market has a good chance of pulling and touching that level if it gets below your entry. And that's why we are doing these chart sessions because some of these prices may seem out of reach to someone at 547. You probably wouldn't think SPY is going to drop back down below 533 if you were looking at it on a daily chart. But looking at it on a monthly chart, you get a little macro perspective. You see that drop down coming. So that's SPY. Any company y'all want to chart? Let's see. Y'all want to do anybody that's doing earnings this week, man? I don't want to mess with nobody doing earnings, honestly.
All right, do CLS King.
CLSK. Oh, we back on it, baby. CLSK.
Okay.
Put a 3 bar in on the monthly. I like a 3 up on the monthly. That looks like a promising reversal signal. Let me see who else is in here. What's up, Ty? What's up, Sebastian? Welcome, welcome. Appreciate y'all coming through. Make sure you share the space if you have any questions. Let me know, and I'll try to address those questions or chart those stocks for you. But CLSK, for those who don't know, this is a Bitcoin mining company essentially. They are into clean energy and they do renewable energy and they do their own Bitcoin mining using their own renewable energy technology that they developed. Okay, so I see a lot of value in them. Always have. They lagged a little bit recently because they were going through some things internally, but based on what I've been seeing reported on them recently and the rise back in Bitcoin or Bitcoin finding that support at 80,000 and starting to bounce again, CleanSpark has a good chance of retesting at least the $15 level. And right now we're at $9. So from $9 to $15, it's a nice price move right there. So let's look for a call entry, a safe call entry for CLSK. If you didn't catch the 896 call entry, which would have been the breach of last month's high, was 896. We got above that. If we pull back down below 896, you can watch how we react and try to play the bounce off of that level. Be really careful though, because you could slip into put territory quickly with CLSK, and that put territory will start around 896 or $9. So if it gets below $9, you want to be looking at puts on CLSK. We could be putting in a potential little reversal back to the downside. So you got your call entry 896, put entry 799, and we're going to look for a take profit on the calls. Let's look for the take profit. You got any levels on CLSK you looking at in particular, G?
Yeah, I was thinking call entry maybe around 970,
Oh,
965.
that's crazy. That's the first take profit level I have after 896,
Okay.
968. So that could actually be like you said, because 896 is already passed. If you didn't catch that call entry and we happen to gap up on Monday or tomorrow on open, then you want to look for this 968 level for your second entry. 968, 970. That could be your call entry if you're not in one already. And
Gotta make
then
sure it closed.
yeah, close above that level on a daily chart, because we got to remember we're charting right now off of a monthly, so you want to look for confirmation closes on a daily chart if you're charting off a monthly, at least off a daily. I would say weekly, but if you want to get into position early, let at least close above that level on the daily chart. All right, and then you got to go ahead and look at take profit level above there. We're gonna say we got, ooh, that's a nice jump, 1236. And like I was saying
Right. I see
earlier,
that. I see that.
you see that, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a nice little jump right there. Once you break above that 968, we got 1046 as the first level, and then you got 1236. So let me color this in. 1046 will be the first target after 968, and then if we break above that 1046 with some strength, we have a very good chance of pushing the 1236. And that will be the top wick of the monthly candlestick of January and February. That's where we topped out in the beginning of the year. That's going to be a very strong signal if we break above 1236 for CLSK. Then after CLSK break above 1236, we will come back to rechart it. But I honestly would say the next key level you want to look at, if it happens to push very quickly, would be right around this. Where is it at? Right around these bottom wicks, right around here. Right around 1430. I would honestly say 1488 to $15. So 1488 is the next crucial level I have for CLSK. But we should be good on taking profit by 1236. And this is going to be weekly contracts. So weekly contracts, you want to look for something that expires over a month out. So we could look at some CLSK options and see how much they cost. This is what, May 30th. So yeah, this is over a month out. This will be the shortest I would go. And you see these contracts aren't that expensive. You could get some $9 calls. This is the strike price right here in the center. And these are the bid prices on each side. You got calls over here, puts over here. Puts is for the market going down. Calls is if you think the market is going to go up. And right here, these are the prices. So 0.64 is like $64. 0.65 is $65. 1.26 is $126. So on and so forth. So right now you could get, we said 960 would be the entry, the clean entry. And then you could buy some in the money calls there. You'll probably be able to get some in the money calls for less than $100. That's a month out. And on those, the delta is 0.48. So for a contract that you're going to buy for pretty much around $100, if you're catching it at 960 at the entry, for every dollar it goes up, it's going to gain $50 on that contract. So $100, so that's a 50% gain on $100. That's a very big gain per contract. If you're investing $100, it's only $50. But if you're investing $1,000, that's $500. If you invest in $10,000, that's $5,000 off of a $1 move in the stock. And we're saying it's most likely going to go from 960 to 1046, which is less than $1. But after that 1046 level breaks, you have a good chance to get to 1236, which is about a $3 move. So you're looking at almost, that's like, if you're catching that contract at $100, you're looking at a potential 200% gain on your contract right there. All right. So keep an eye out for that. Who's this? Who's typing? Someone sent a message. Who's sending me a message? Someone right on there. I don't know why I got a message on. But yeah, that's the potential right there for the clean spark calls. So definitely keep those on your watch list. And this is a far out Bitcoin play. Remember, this is a Bitcoin. This is a play on Bitcoin mining. Okay, and they also have a lot of Bitcoin ownership. They own a lot of Bitcoin from the Bitcoin they mine. They're holding it. They're not selling it off. So this could bring them a lot of value in the future, especially as the value of Bitcoin starts to come back up. I'll
I
give you
like
the
those March 26 contracts. They look, they're not too expensive.
on what
CLSK.
you said March 26th.
Yeah.
I mean the May. What you said? March. Oh, March 2027.
March 2026.
Oh, all I got is March 20th. That's the only thing they give me for 2026.
March 20th. Yeah, March 20th, 2026.
Okay. Listen, man, I like that too. Look. By the time it gets up to our call entry level, these contracts will probably be just about over $300, right?
Okay.
So we probably be able to get a contract, a $10 call on CLSK for $320 about. But now this contract doesn't expire until March of 2026, which gives you a whole bunch of time to hold it and give it time to mature and really potentially get back to some of these higher levels we had back here when it went above $15 into that $20 range again, which has a strong potential to do considering where Bitcoin is pushing. If they clean up their financials and all the internal stuff gets cleared out with CLSK, it really should be above $20 right now. But because of their internal issues, they're not trading in correlation with Bitcoin like they used to. So if they regain that correlation back to moving along with the same trend along with Bitcoin like MicroStrategy does, yeah, this could take off crazy. So I do like that. I do like that year call. I might jump in those with you. The 968. Once we get above that, I'm there.
Right. On the fundamental side, they just secured a $200 million credit line from Coinbase this month.
Credit line from Coinbase, CLSK did?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look at them getting their credit up. Okay. They about to make some moves with that. I already know. Okay, very nice. Very nice, very nice. That's good to know. All right, so we have CLSK, we have SPY. Let's go to good old NVIDIA. Everybody loves NVIDIA, so let's chart NVIDIA. Is this the bounce back for NVIDIA? Dun, dun, dun. Let's see where we're at right now. Let's look at ourselves. I already got some levels on Nvidia that I want to play off of. It like it's right around them too. So we're just gonna change the colors.
Yup.
111.73 I got as a call entry. What were you saying? Oh, I thought you said something. So yeah, 1173 is call entry. 115 is that take profit, and that's a strong take profit. I would not even look for second target after 115. I would probably look for re-entry. And re-entry, we could do re-entry off the weekly because re-entry on the monthly, you're gonna be waiting for a while. Hold on, let me see something. Actually, no. Let's stretch this out some and look at this candlesticks right here. So after 115, what's the next level y'all see if I push this up? The very next wick that we touch on the monthly is this wick right here off of June 2nd. I mean, off of January 2nd to June. Off of January 2025. So, how I would do NVIDIA if I were you. This is not financial advice, entertainment purposes only, all right? But if I were you, this is how I would do it. I would take the call entry at 111.73. I would look for a contract that is at least 3 weeks to a month out to get that time to play out. If it plays out sooner, the sooner the better. Take your profit at 115 and then see how it reacts around 115. And if we continue to push and we get above this 116.30 level, re-enter your calls on Nvidia at 116.23 once we start closing above that level. Okay. And then the take profit I will look for after that, that's when I will come down to the weekly. So we re-enter after 116. I already had a level in, it looks like 121. But I feel like there's a 118 level somewhere for some reason. Let me double check. Let's shrink this in some. Let's shrink it. Yeah, there's definitely level at 118, 119 somewhere. I know NVIDIA too well. So I will play 116 up to that 118.19 level. I got that level from the bottom wick of the weekly candlestick on June 2024. Okay. I'm always going to try to tell you where I'm finding my levels so you could reference it for yourselves and see how the charts are reacting to these price levels I'm finding, and it'll hopefully make you a better charter when you do your own price levels on your own. Okay, that's the goal. I want to teach you all how to fish. I don't want to have to do this every week for you. I'm doing this for the teaching process so we can all learn and get out here. And then y'all could be sending me levels. I want some levels from y'all, okay, that I should be playing on companies that I may not be looking at. But let's keep it pushing. 118.19 is the take profit on NVIDIA. First take profit. After the re-entry, the second take profit, we're going to look at this 120.04 level. And that's going to be the top wick from July 29th, 2024, that week. That's going to be a take profit on there. And I wouldn't really play it too hard past the 121 level because you have heavy consolidation and chop right around there. We will go ahead and take profit again on NVIDIA, and we will probably do re-entry. I already know the level, but I'm going to put it in here anyway. 124. That's the golden level on NVIDIA. For those who don't know, I'm going to expose it. 124 is a golden cross level on NVIDIA. If it gets back above that level, we have a good chance of pushing back to 150. Whenever it breaks down below 124, we're going to struggle. We're going to stay down and chop around below 124. And we're going to have to play these intra price levels underneath there, like the 111 and 116s. But until 124 breaks, we're not having a true breakout in NVIDIA. You're going to be waiting.
Right. Yeah.
So keep on waiting. That could be also another signal that the market is entering a recovery. Because NVIDIA could push all the way back up to the 120s and then reject that 124, and we could remain back in a downtrend. So
Facts.
I think that's another key signal to watch out for identifying if the market is returning officially or not.
Mhm.
Let me me see. I did want to look at Meta. You know, Meta took off. Meta did a little takeoff rebound. They almost put in the 3 bar last week. They
Yeah.
almost did it, but they rejected right at the call entry level I have for them. I'm gonna keep the same levels I have on Meta from last week's charting session. I'm gonna keep those same levels: a 550 call entry, 562 target one, and 570 target two. Meta contracts are very expensive, so if you're not
Mm-hmm.
able to afford at least a week out contract on Meta, I wouldn't even bother looking at it. Because you're gonna play an intra week contract, or you're gonna play a weekly contract, a 1 week expiration, something that expires this week, and that delta is gonna give you a stomach ache. Because anytime Meta moves down, you're gonna see your contract you spent $1,500 on go down to $800, and it's gonna make you sick. And you're gonna want to sell, but you got to be able to hold strong in something like Meta because Meta is very volatile. It can be very volatile in this price movement. This thing could jump $20 in a day without blinking. So if you're going to get that Meta 550 call, that's why I said it's going to be pricey. You definitely want to buy time on that. But it is worth it. The payday is glorious when it has hit take profit. Oh man, those contracts pay so good. Let's look at a Meta contract really quick. Let's pull up Meta for the people. So if you got a May 30th contract on Meta, look, so for a 555 contract on Meta, you're talking $2,800. So let's go. Let's say May 9th, right? That'll be pretty much a 2 week out contract. You're still looking at $2,500 for a 550 contract. Let me see something. I'm not gonna lie. If you were gonna get a May 2nd or May 9th contract, you might as well go to May 30th because the price difference is not that great. The May 9th contracts, the 550 cost you 2,400. The May 30th, the 550 costs you 3,000. So I honestly think the $600 is worth the extra 4 weeks of time um, insurance that it gives you. Some people may not think so. I think so. If you're gonna play something like Meta, you shouldn't be penny pinching between $102 a contract. You're going in it with a lump sum of money because you want to be able to hit your target and not have to stress about it. So buy the time. Just pay a little bit of money in and buy the time. But keep your stop levels, your stop all the same, and stay disciplined to your price levels because these contracts, like I said, they move fast. And if we end up in some kind of pullback and you jumped in the call, you got to be able to stop yourself out before taking too heavy of a loss. Those heavy losses of 40% or more require you to have 80 to 100% gains to get it back. So don't start losing 30% or more on your option contracts. I had the table in my Discord. I'm gonna post it on my TikTok one day. It's gonna show. I'm gonna post on my TikTok this week, one day this week. And it's gonna show you how much you have to make in order to recoup what you lost on a contract, especially once you start getting past 20% losses, how much you have to gain on the contract in order just to draw even. Not make money, but draw even. And I hope that gives people a perspective on how risk management is very important with option contract management. And it can be frustrating to get stopped out of your contract quick. But at the end of the day, most of the times, if it happens that quick, it's to save you for some kind of further pullback that you're probably not anticipating to come, and that the stop is going to save you from taking a deeper loss on. And at the end of the day, always have capital be available for re-entry. You shouldn't be putting all your money into one trade anyway. You should always have enough capital left over where if you need to get stopped out, you can stop out, and if re-entry signals on the call or put, you could jump back into that trade. You don't want to be all in and then get stopped out and then some kind of reversal comes in and you're not able to take advantage of your price level on the day, which is why on the first trigger of a call entry or put entry, you don't go all in. You get one contract or two contracts. If you could afford 10 contracts, you get two contracts. If you could afford 3 contracts, you get one contract at a time until you get further confirmation that the price is holding or pushing up more. Okay? But let me look at some quick news real quick before I get up out of here. Anything interesting you heard going on this week, Angie? Anything? Any deals you hear about?
No, not really.
going on, right? I didn't hear about anything major. Let's
Mhm.
let's see what CNBC is talking about really quick. We got the futures are looking lower right now, but that's because we have a big earnings week ahead of us. Like we said earlier, you got Microsoft, you got Apple, we had Google last week. Um, we have who else we have? We have Coca-Cola, we have Visa, Waste Management, Amazon. We have $3 trillion plus companies reporting this week. So this is going to be a heavy earnings week in the market. I'm gonna put out my price levels tomorrow after close, and I want you all to look at these price levels as levels that you will potentially take after this week. Okay, if I have to redo the levels based on how prices adjust after earnings, I will. But I don't want anybody jumping too hastily into trades. I'm actually not going to give out any price levels on companies reporting earnings. The closer you're going to get to playing earnings will be SPY and QQQ for my price levels. So everything else should be okay to play or trade the price levels I give out. But the SPYs and Qs, I will wait until next week. I'll be a little more patient because those are going to move a lot based on what Apple, Amazon, and Microsoft say. I'm honestly how you feel about Microsoft, G? You optimistic? You think they're gonna get back above 400 this week? Let me look at the Microsoft report real quick before I get out of here.
If it can find its way to 394 and close above that, it has a chance.
That's the exact level I got on it right here, boy. 390. I got 395.98.
All right.
We get back above that, it's a go. I'm going hard on Microsoft. Microsoft contracts are some of the best paying contracts out there. I'm not gonna lie, but when it's not moving, when it's playing and then fucking around, it's gonna kill you with data. But when those things decide to move, boy, oh boy, Microsoft pays. All right, so I'm gonna set those alerts and everything. I'll put those alerts in, and I'll shout out a couple more companies that I know I want to look at this week. I know I want to look at TSM. I do want to look at Tesla because Tesla did just
I like
report.
Sophie's stock.
You like Sophie? I like Sophie too. I had Sophie back above when they get back above 1350. I think I got an alert for them.
Okay.
Yeah, 1350. Sophie put in a nice 2 bar on the weekly. Let me look at it on the monthly. On the monthly, it's still in the 2 down, but we're about to start May soon. So if May could start with a nice 2 up bar, that could signal a strong reversal, a 2-2 reversal on Sophie with the strat, using the strat. That'll be a 2-2 reversal.
Them fell two downs be real good too.
Yeah, boy, them 2-2 reversals are they hit,
Mhm.
man. They pay
Mhm.
nice. I can see Sophie easily bouncing back up to like 1550 if it gets above 1350. It's gonna easily start. Then we're gonna start retesting the highs again.
Mhm.
1550, then 1658. I'll be careful. I'll definitely be out of Sophie by 1658 and see what it starts doing around there. But I wouldn't hold past 1658. I'll play from 1350 to 1650. Nice $3 move. And everybody out there, don't forget the dividend plays. You know, my favorite baby out here, Coney. If you don't have some Coney, I need you to go buy you some right now. We want to push this price up. We want to push this price up to $16 as soon as possible. And
Yeah, corner pushing now.
you see it. I like that bottom wick I'm seeing on the monthly for it, man. Let me look at the weekly real quick. Okay, the weekly we in a 2 up. Yeah. This is the first 2 up on Coney. The first 2 up candlestick it put in since January, since the third week in January, and that was a week 2 up. The last strong 2 up it put in was December 2nd. So this is a good sign, bro. I like that. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. I think Coney's going to be one of my greatest investments. I'm going to say that now. This is on live too. And I'm going to bring
I
this
love
over.
them Young Max plays, boy.
Huh?
Young Max.
Who? Yield Max. Yeah, Yield Max, baby.
Yeah,
Listen,
man.
if they stay consistent with their dividends, man, this is going to be one of the best income strategies created out there. They're going to make a lot of money.
Right.
They're going to
Right.
make a lot of money.
Futures market just open. Down.
Everything down on the futures market. Let's see. Let's open up. Let's see what we're looking like.
SPY is down. Kind of neutral.
Yeah,
Kind of neutral.
yeah, nothing's really moving down too crazy. But it just opened up. What we have to pay attention to as well is the bond rates. We got to pay attention to the movement of the 10-year and 2-year bond rates. Let me pull up the 10-year real quick. So let me see something. Yeah, we need that bond. We need the bond rates to pull down a little bit more, so people aren't as enticed to go into bonds, and they don't look at it as like such a safe haven play with good returns. Mm. It's crazy because when we had that most recent dip, the bond market and stock market dipped together. That was not good. It's usually one or the other. One is usually going up while the other's going down. When they both dip together, that's a bad sign for the market. So if we could get the US, if we could get the 10-year bond rate back below 4.1 without it being some kind of catastrophic global event happening that's causing that, it's just faith being reinstilled in the market and growth coming back. I think 4.12 is that signal where we'll know that heavy buying is about to accelerate again in the stock market. 4.25, 4.89. Look at this, 4.89 in January. Sheesh. What's the 2-year looking like? 2 years at 3.75. Well, the 2-year got below the fours. We was in the 4.5s for a while on the 2-year. Yeah, we had a nice little run on the 2-year. Run on the 2%. You don't get that on a 2-year bond on the government guaranteeing you 5% of your money. I know the wealthy people were buying the shit out of bonds at that time, boy. Buying them shits up left and right. But yeah, folks, that's it on the live, the TikTok live. Appreciate everybody that came through. Gave us some price levels on the day. We will be back on tomorrow. I'm gonna do some live trading. I'm gonna keep it real light. Actually, no, we're gonna be back on Tuesday for the live trading. Tomorrow, gonna do some finish up the charting live with the Discord crew. We're gonna put all our price levels in. I'm gonna release those price levels tomorrow night. Give the instructions on the team on how to follow those. And if you're part of the team, make sure you pay attention to the Discord. Ask questions if you have any questions. And if you're not in the community already and you're on TikTok, make sure you subscribe and become part of the Discord community so you can take advantage of getting all these price levels live and getting my one-on-one guidance consistently. You know I come up on TikTok. I try to do at least once a week with you guys live with some kind of charting session like this and teaching, because during the week it's actually all right. I'll see you all tomorrow. I'll see you all Tuesday. Appreciate everybody that came through. And Mark, appreciate y'all.